I remember it like it was yesterday. I drove out and I drove out with my dad. I had some beat up Nissan Xterra that I drove out there. It was 30 something hours. It was the longest drive ever. And I didn't have enough money to get an apartment or anything like that. So I checked into a Days Inn. So it was day by day. It was the cheapest rate ever. It was in a really bad spot in San Diego. And he just dropped me off there. He's like, all right, man, good luck, work hard. And that's it. And then he flew out, and I was just there at a Days Inn cooking on a George Foreman grill, getting at the gym 4 a.m. every day, leaving at 9 p.m., going in on Saturdays and Sundays, and just hoping and praying that I could sustain something or just create enough of an opportunity so I could maybe pay the next couple days rent at the Days Inn and then get a client or two from there. But it all turned one day. I was probably there for a couple months at this point. I was training general fitness population, which is my specialty now, but it wasn't back then. It wasn't my want. And Mark Pryor, who was an awesome pitcher back in the day. Mark Pryor, he was runner-up for the Cy Young 2 years in a row, like for the Cubs. He was the man. And he was training at our facility. And his personal trainer was sick that day at like a 5 a.m. session. And I was working out personally 4 to 5 a.m. every single day before I'd take my 5 a.m. session. And Mark's trainer wasn't there. And he saw me working out alongside of him for a couple months at a time. And all he knew was I was kind of in shape. I seemed to know what I was doing training myself. And I played baseball at a decently high level. And he said, hey, can you train me today? Oh, yeah, I can do that. And that was the one foot in the door to really getting a Rolodex of really high-end clientele from a word of mouth referral. But again, you just think about, is it fate or is it opportunity or is it a combination of both? Something like that. I look back on that. If that wouldn't have happened, if that trainer wouldn't have been sick that morning, I honestly don't know if I'd be here on this podcast with you guys talking about training today. So it's weird how the world works sometimes, but again, you got to be prepared for those opportunities, but you also have to hold yourself to a high standard, even if it's you training yourself in the gym.
It's funny, the harder you work, the luckier you get. Your story reminds me of when I started off, as a trainer and worked at a big box gym. And we had one of those little, cardboard boxes in the front on the front desk where you fill it out, enter to win a free training session. And I'd get there every morning at 5 when we opened up, and I'd empty them out, and I couldn't wait till 9 o'clock to call everybody, say, congratulations, you won. And they'd all train with me. And the rest of the training staff hated me because they're like, oh, you take all the leads. I said, tell you what, meet me here at 5 and I'll split them with you, but don't roll in at 9 o'clock like most of them did and hang out at the juice bar, right, and expect me to hand over all the leads. And then I would, and so that's a lot of things that this is an awesome story for a young trainer out there who's listening to this, to say, like, you're not seeing the scars that we kind of developed over those years of, like, I trained the sales guys for free. So they would give me the leads because you would get 2 free sessions with your package. Because I want to train anybody and everybody who would listen to me, right? Until eventually people paid me for it. So I think that's a powerful thing for people to hear, that, they do the math, say, oh, $75, $100 an hour. If I do 40 hours a week, I'm going to retire by the time I'm 50. It doesn't work that way.